170 algorithms that process the data, ID Nutrition recommends what you need, leaves out what you don't, and blocks things known to the system to have possible adverse effects based on the answers you provide. The result is a program that is revolutionizing the health and wellness industry. Welcome to ID Life. For more information, just go to thedougstewartshow.idlife.com. That's thedougstewartshow.idlife.com. Do you have your own radio show? Are you an artist or a DJ? BB Mobile Apps is the solution for you. They specialize in creating mobile apps for entertainers. That's right. You can have your own mobile app where your followers can hear your shows or music, watch your videos, and view all your social networks in one place. You can even make money with banner ads and send push notifications directly to your audience to make sure they get your messages. Everyone has their phones on them, right? A mobile app will add credibility to your brand because your content will be accessible to them while they're on the go. BB Mobile Apps also makes apps for bloggers, actors, and producers. The process only takes about 20 minutes. Just go to bbmobileapps.com and click Get Started Now. That's bbmobileapps.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you. Footballsportsapp.com. What is it? It's the first live-action mobile sports app played in real time and a cool way to immerse yourself in the game. Make coaching calls just like the pros. Check out the video. Download for free this fall and register now again at footballsportsapp.com. Want to be part of this new exciting technology and make money? Fill out the short form at the bottom of the website and mention TDSS. Again, footballsportsapp.com.
1, 2.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Hey, man, thank y'all for tuning in today. I really, really appreciate it. Pass the word. Tell one person about the Doug Stewart Show. The realest, truest sports and guy talk show in America. We're brought to you by footballsportsapp.com. The first live-action mobile sports app played in real time and a cool way to get in the game. Make coaching calls just like the pros. Check out the video, download for free this fall, and register now again at footballsportsapp.com. Want to be part of this new exciting technology, man. This app is going to take the world by storm. That's what the projections are saying. Fill out the short form at the bottom of the website and mention TDSS. Once again, that's at footballsportsapp.com. Them and United Games. Yeah. Quickly, man, Marlins star pitcher Jose Fernandez was a patron at a Miami River bar and restaurant the same night he and two friends were killed in a boat crash. A spokesman for the establishment confirmed Tuesday. A friend of one of the victims said he warned him against the post-midnight trip. Okay, stop right there. There was kind of some confusion about, how late at night that these cats went out on the water. And so they're confirming now that they went out on the water after drinking, and they didn't specifically say they were drinking. They just said that they were at a bar. So let me take that back. They were at a bar. They went out on a boat after midnight. Did you hear what I just said? That's like a lethal combination if you ever heard one, man. A friend of one of the victims says he warned him against the post-midnight trip, and Marlins center fielder Marcell Ozuna said he and at least two other teammates turned down invitations to go and tried to discourage Fernandez from going out. He says, quote, it was a bad decision for him. Ozuna, perhaps Fernandez's best friend on the team, said he heard everybody says, no, go back to your house and take it easy. Then you wake up and see the news. So tragic, man. Monday, as quoted in the Miami Herald, I told him I couldn't go that night because I had the kids and my wife waiting for me. Ozuna says Fernandez apparently had concerns he might be late to the ballpark for Sunday's 1:10 p.m. game because he asked Ozuna for a wake-up call. Quote, he said, if I'm not here by 10, call me, Ozuna said. And the rest is history, man. American Social Bar and Kitchen spokesman Dana Roden said in an email that Fernandez was there before the accident. The statement did not say whether Fernandez had been drinking or what time he left. I said this yesterday, man. I'm from a town where boating is very prevalent. We have the biggest lake in the state of South Carolina, Lake Moultrie. And, growing up, I had a cousin that died, drowned when I was like 7 years old. Every summer, someone dies on the water. There's a boating accident. When I was growing up in high school, when you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, and my cousin Ty in the chat room can attest to this. So in my hometown, this is kind of like this culture for a lot of kids, man, to take their parents' boat out on the lake by themselves. So like when I was in high school, and if you know what a pontoon boat is it's kind of like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's kind of like it's a boat, but it has these two big kind of like cylinder type things on the side that float. And they have a little motor behind it, and it's kind of like a party boat. They call it a party boat. And so it can fit a bunch of people, and people have parties on them. So my friends in high school, their parents had these pontoon boats or these party boats, and we would go out on the weekend. And the culture is you go out on the weekend on the boat or on the river, and even though we're in high school, it's known that you're drinking out on the water. Like these kids would have their parents' boat and they'd have 6-packs. I don't know where they get the beer from, but we go out on the water with my little teammates or whatever, and we be drinking up a storm on the lake. And that's like common knowledge. But my mother and my father used to always warn me and tell me, man, you got to be careful in that water. Things happen on that water. My grandmother, if you're from the South, you know your grandmother, she didn't play with that damn water. Be careful around that water, boy. And, man, it's just, to hear this setup, to hear that they were at a bar and they didn't go out on the water till after midnight. Tough, man. Very, very tough. Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace. Very big personality from what I can tell out of Fernandez, man. And, just gone. Just gone. From, who do we got? Grego in the chat room on Spreaker.com. Everyone wants to drink on the water. Yeah, I mean, that's just the culture of going out on a boat, is you drinking. You are drinking. Okay, that's what you do out on a boat. Or that's what you do on the water. You drink. From Clay Throw It Back Davis. Vince, if McCaffrey had a bad game versus Washington, he should be ranked lower on the list. They're still talking about Ed McCaffrey's little boy. From That Ninja, he came over here on a banana boat from Cuba. He probably doesn't fear the water the same way everybody else does. That might have some truth to it. I don't know. From Vince Wright, the big smooth #1, the Nebraska governor has agreed to a meeting with Nebraska football players that knelt. Nice. It's a start. I agree 100%. If that's actually the case, I haven't seen that story, but that's good. That's very good. From Thorny Switch, many people can be careless when it comes to water, not just Cubans, Ninja. From Coop, it wasn't the water but the rocks that landed on upside down that killed him. Yeah, but I mean, that's still in the water. It's all encompassing. I'm talking about boating in general, okay? A lot of times, man, when it's high tide, okay, and I think I saw my man Andre Elam said it yesterday in this in the chat room, and Andre was in the Navy. When it's high tide, man, okay, and you're not realizing it's high tide, and that tide can go up real quick. When it's high tide and you don't realize it, and you out there riding around, something that you could have seen before it was high tide sticking out of the water, rocks or what have you, you don't see it. And I don't know if that was the exact case with Fernandez and the guys that were on the boat with him. But evidently that's what it seems like. They ran straight into these jetties. That's the term that they use for this rock formation. They ran straight into it, allegedly over 50 miles per hour. I mean, that's horrific. That is horrific, man. I mean, From Brian Hill in the chat room on Spreaker.com. I don't think that this is consistent, BAB. West Coast Ninjas can run too, but I get your point, facing lesser talent week in and week out. I don't know if Ninjas in the chat room trying to discredit the McCaffrey kid, but the McCaffrey kid is bad. You can say all you want. Now, didn't Reggie Bush win the Heisman Trophy? Same type of player. Same type of player, and Reggie Bush wasn't white and his daddy didn't play in the NFL. Okay? So yeah, whether you agree with it or not, I get it. And don't act like that the McCaffrey kid ain't nice. He's very nice. Okay? From Thorny Switch, ain't no Cumans dying at Lake Lanier. Yeah, and cats, I guess what Thorny is referring to, Lake Lanier is, I think, one of the bigger lakes in Georgia. And same thing happens every summer. Somebody dies. I mean, you remember a couple of years ago, boating accident. Usher's stepson, I believe it was, died in a boating accident. You know, man, I hate to even talk about it, man, because it's scary. From Vince Wright, it's on ESPN, Doug. Okay, now I didn't say I didn't believe you, Vince. I just hadn't heard that story yet. Evidently, it just came down about the governor of Nebraska meeting with the players from Nebraska that were, received all this backlash about their protest this past weekend. From who do we got here in the chat room from Spreaker.com? From Casey, anytime my white friends asked me to go boating with them, I was always busy. Yeah, I can't say the same thing, man. I can't say the same thing because for the most part, it's very fun, and like most of the time when I've gone out with my Caucasian friends when I was in high school, they were teammates, and they had a pontoon boat, and a pontoon boat isn't anything that you can really, you can really have a high speed crash in. That's not what it is. It generally is something that just cruises along on the river, and it's very slow, and it's not that same type of thing. But yeah, I would think I would have second thoughts about getting on a speedboat that can reach high speeds after just drinking in a bar. Yeah, I don't play around with stuff like that, man. I don't. From Willie D, one could speculate a rendezvous of some sort taking place on the water that late. Yeah, but there were 3 guys on there. I didn't hear, and I guess what you're referring to is maybe there were some ladies on board, or maybe they were, going to the other side of the lake trying to meet somebody. I don't know what exactly you're saying. From Rough Buff, don't get it twisted. You can tip that pontoon boat over. Yeah. And I would never, I've always had good common sense. I said this yesterday. I got common sense. You've seen so many stories, and once again, I've heard so many stories about people dying on the lake, man, that I was very, very careful about going out there because I do know that, my friends were drinking. But if I thought that there was any chance of bad weather or anything like that, nah, just like my man just said in the chat room, I'm busy. I'm good. Nah, I'm not going out there. I wore life vests. I remember they used to laugh at me. Why you got on the life? Why you got on that life vest? If I ever felt the water getting choppy, I put my damn life vest on. Even though I'm a certified lifeguard, I told that story as well. And taking the lifeguard test, I had to get in the boat like 11 times. I can swim my ass off. In relative terms to most ninjas, but, I don't play around that damn water, man. I can hear my grandmother right now. I don't play around that water. Don't play around that water, man. I never forget it. One of the most heartbreaking times of my life, man, when I was like, I think this happened when I was probably 7 years old, maybe 8 years old. My cousin Ira, his name was Ira Gregg, man. He drowned at the river in my hometown. And I just remember when we found that out, man, just how everybody was just so heartbroken. He was like 8 years old. I think he was like a year older than me because I think he was in the class before me. But we played on the same Little League football team. And once again, this was my cousin. And, once that happened, the whole be careful around water thing by my family, by my mother and my grandmother was just amped up. They did not play around that damn water, man. You have to be careful. I told a story before as well. I tell a lot of stories if you're new to the Doug Stewart Show on how I almost drowned, but nobody knew it. I think I did tell a story. I had teased it, and then I didn't tell it for a couple of days, but I came back and told the story. But when I was like 7 years old, this was within a year of my cousin dying on the river. I think this was before he actually died. We had a Little League football party at one of my teammates' houses. And his parents, I guess, had a little bit of money because he had this real nice pool in his backyard. And we're having this little party, and everybody's outside playing in this pool. And I couldn't swim. This is, once again, I was 7 years old. This is my first year playing Little League football.